Problem, no problem. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the conversation series on mediation, created with an aim and vision to promote awareness of mediation in the world around us and to talk about mediation and other alternative dispute resolution systems from the perspective of a common person. We continue with a short legal disclaimer. The views expressed herein are the personal perspectives of the speakers and may or may not represent the views of a larger professional community they belong to. The conversation series aim to provide a general overview and awareness on the subject matter involved and may not be construed as a legal or professional advice in any manner whatsoever. The session is being recorded for wide circulation. The guest panelists today are very special. We welcome on board Mr. Chijioke lawyer and author, member faculty, founder, principal partner of 3Cs International Institute of Mediation, Negotiation, Counseling and Conciliation and Center for Peer Mediation and Peace Building. He is accompanied by his life partner, Mrs. Margaret Chijioke and his wonderful children. Together, they have played an important role in making peer mediation a success story in Nigeria. They have been pioneering this movement in Africa, parts of Asia, and South America, creating a worldwide legacy. They strongly believe that once children at the earliest ages imbibe this practice now and later on as adults, they shall be better equipped to manage relationships across the borders of culture, religion, tribe, and race. Also, they shall possess the skills of preventing issues from degenerating and disputes and further to conflicts. We respect the spirit of this service to humanity and we welcome on board Chijioke and Ma'am Margaret. Please, it's a pleasure and an honor to have you on board. I invite you to talk about first your vision, what you saw, and how you made this journey. So, Chijioke, the floor is up to you.
All right, thank you very much. I mean,
I think Chijioke, you switch off your camera and try because the
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, you want me to speak now?
Yes, please. You can speak.
All right. Thank you for having me, Sonal. It's indeed a good. Indeed very grateful for the opportunity to talk about my journey thus far in the practice of peer mediation and mediation generally. Some time ago, about 2020, I had written a book on mediation. And it dawned on me as I was writing that book that it's not about the present, what happens to the future. Yes, you can have people who read the books, but how long will this book really resonate generationally? So I began to have the mindset to see how to get children involved in the practice. Again, because of the rate of conflict across the world, with particular emphasis on Nigeria and other parts of Africa, it dawned on me to try to see how to reach out to these children for them to know that, yes, in spite of the differences across the borders of religion, tribe, and race, that indeed, and culture, of course, for us as Africans, that indeed they can live peaceably with other children in the society, and also for the children to know how to manage conflicts. Yes, these conflicts arise from issues, they degenerate to disputes and further to conflicts. So there are 3 stages, and children being what they are, if you can get to them early, and very patient with them, plus or minus to a very great extent, when they become adults, they'll be better equipped, better skilled to manage relationships across the borders of religion, culture, tribe, and race, just as I mentioned a few moments earlier. So, and that has been my mantra thus far. The mantra that at 3Cs, with my practice, I've always held onto strongly, that there is no better time for the practice of mediation than now. That is number 1. Number 2, that children need to imbibe this practice so that they can learn how to relate across the borders of religion, culture, tribe, and race. Once you have children have these attributes in them, imbibe it and practice to a very great extent, you're going to have a relatively peaceful society. So that's inspiration. That's basically the vision behind my zeal and passion for the practice of peer mediation.
That's really wonderful. Now, when I talk about Africa, and there are a lot of people who have differences of any opinion. There are many groups. So, how were you able to manage to bring together children? Because this would have been a new concept to them. Were they willing to take this chance? Was it easy to bring them on board? We asked that to ma'am. What were the challenges, ma'am, in the journey? I think
Okay, it's for my wife to answer.
yes. So no problem. I think ma'am is not able to get to us. There is apparently some connection issue. Why don't you?
No, I think you can. No.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
You fit
Well,
in.
as it is basically, the challenge is. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
The
Definitely.
challenge is, of course, like developing countries, the bureaucratic bottlenecks of how to get some of these things done. Finances behind it. The government wants to create a platform for you to do something for the children. Yes, they are interested in the program. They want the program to be established, but they do not want to spend a dime of their money for you to achieve this very good, well-intentioned program. So they intend for you to be the one to carry the burden. And the funny thing about it is that, yes, they will allow you to carry the burden at the very early stage. And when it becomes a success, they come and say, and now claim ownership of the program they never ever followed from stage one to whatever the final stage. And that is one of the challenges you have in developing nations. The government, the people in authorities do not want to stretch themselves to accommodate great ideas, great initiatives from people who may not be in government, but have what it takes to move the country positively to a very, very good position in the community of nations. So most times, some of these government officials try to be bottlenecks. They do not allow you have access. Of course, to move around these schools is a lot of money. So how can one person cover over 1,000 schools? You have to fuel your car. You need to pay your staff. When you go there, there might be no lights. You need to use a generating set to power on to have light. So these things are challenges. But what can you do when you have a passion for something? And thank God for the association one has gotten across the borders with some good, well-intentioned people who have decided to be part of what we do and contribute their quota to making sure that this dream does not die. But if it were not for these people, if I had relied solely on the government, I would have been stranded by now. But be that as it may, I also want to thank some of the government officials in the first instance. In life, you need to know if you're giving a lemon, if you're giving, you make it a lemonade. You turn whatever situation to favor you. I also want to appreciate them in spite of not going the extra mile in providing the finances. If they had not given the platform, if they had not allowed me to have access to those children, then there'll be no story of Peer Mediation today. So on one hand, I will tell them thank you for giving us access in the first instance to have those children be part of the program, because the children are the resource. They're the resource materials for the program. So it is indeed, and on that hand, I remain eternally grateful to them for creating that platform for us to have access to those children, despite the challenges I had earlier on enumerated. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. I think the perspectives and the challenges in every country, every nation, in fact, globally, almost remain the same when we talk about the bottlenecks involved in the administrative part of it. So that was one part of the challenge. When we talk about actually doing something, then you also talked about, like, you know generator not being available, the electricity not being available. And in fact, we have already seen that there have been issues with net connectivity, and those are the challenges that physically are involved. What I would also would want you to talk about are the challenges to initiating, to the inhibitions of people, whether they were willing to participate in all this because this was a new concept. Were there challenges to that? Were there restrictions somewhere?
Oh wow, really, when the government had approved this program, the staff, the schedule officers responsible for this program thought it was a fluke because they had seen many come in this manner and go, because they knew it was going to be practically impossible to cover over 1,000 schools. And when we talk about 1,000 schools, you're talking about more than how many children? It's left to your imagination. 1,000 schools.
Yes.
And I was not only looking at this junior secondary school, I was also looking at getting the senior secondary school. In other words, I wasn't looking at the children between, and even the primary school. I wasn't looking at the children between 5 to 11, then 11 to 17. These are the ranges of the age we are the age bracket this program is centered towards. So they were wondering how I was going to, maneuver through this process. They thought it was just going to be for a moment. It was going to be a fluke. It was just going to be over as soon as it started, it was going to be over. If you listen to our graduation ceremony, if you have the tapes and you play it, you will see where the teachers were surprised. They were indeed very surprised that the program had lasted till this moment, and in fact, we had gifts for them. And that is where, when you mentioned about having my family over, I thought it twice for them to be over here, because left to me, yes, the materials, I have the knowledge, I have the materials, but the coordination has been about my wife.
Yes.
She's blessed with coordination. She can make a little thing become as mighty as a little ocean become mighty. So the coordination was actually all according to her. Yes, I'm the one that has the material, I have the knowledge, but to bring these things together, I must give her that due regard for making it possible. Because for us to conclude, if we had looked at our pulse, and of course, be a man has been a man, whatever a man is, if I had looked at the pulse, there have been some impossibilities I would never wanted to have, embarked on. But she was the one that brought the idea and said, okay, if you're doing this, if you're going to do about 6 schools, why don't you do 3 schools now? And this has now became seamless. Yes, that much I would like to pay I'd like to give that due regard to her. Yes, you can have the material, you can have all the knowledge like I do by the grace of God, but to bring it, to have a template. She's been the one more like a coordinator, to have a template. Now we are beginning to do, the book is in the offing. I'm writing the book on peer mediation. I had slowed down. I thought I was going to get ready for my birthday next month on the 9th, but somehow the challenges of the new year and everything, but I'll see how it goes. I'll just make it strategic. I'm sure if it's not out this quarter, it will surely be out next quarter. But be that as may. So these things are things you need your family to be here, because there are some challenges you're going to have to. If you're running a program personally, it means you're running a program out of budget. The program is basically run almost out of budget. That means your family is at the receiving end of your vision. So it takes an understanding family to say, okay, daddy has a vision or my husband has this vision, it's for our own good. And today I'm sure they're all enjoying the accolades of people across the world saying, oh, Chijioke, well done. Oh, Chijioke, thank you. Oh, Chijioke here, Chijioke there. And that is what we seek to say. Mediation might not bring you the millions, but it builds a legacy. You're in far away India, you're talking to them in Nigeria, you already know her, she knows you without meeting. And that's by virtue of Chijioke. And that's by virtue of this program. So mediation has played a very important role in our lives as a family. And I'm sure by the grace of God, we're having good acknowledgements from people on outside, the sphere of Nigeria, appreciating what we're doing. And it's all about God. Above all, that is a major coordinator for me, God. Thank you.
That's really wonderful. And when you were talking, your junior was clapping, and I really liked it. So I would want to talk to him. Please introduce yourself and tell something about yourself. Then we'll talk to ma'am also. You're on mute. You're on mute. Unmute yourself. Yeah.
I'm Chukwuebuka Ibeku, and I school in Word of Faith, and I'm 11 years old. That's all I have to say.
Very good. So, you have seen a part of your papa's journey in this process, and peer mediation is about children. So, what are your views about it?
And my views about this is that, like, peer mediation is the act of reducing conflicts in the society. So whenever he says it, I actually believe in him that he can actually go through the dream and make it happen.
Okay. And uh, obviously, you were clapping, and you have really liked papa's journey. So, what was your reaction were when there were tough times? You have also stood by your papa, and you have seen papa work hard for achieving this project. What are your feelings about it now that this project has been, it has been the worldwide people have recognized this? What are your feelings about it?
My feelings are like, I don't even know how to explain it, but I'm happy.
Yes. That I could see, when you were clapping. So that was something that was really good from your heart you have felt. And how do you relate to it? Do you as a child also feel that this is very important?
Please pardon me, what did you say?
I wanted to ask you, as a child, do you feel that for the younger generation, this is a very important project, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes. Thank you so much. That was very
Thank you, sir.
wonderful. Ma'am, we would like to talk to you because, as Shijioge sir was saying, that you have been the pillar of support for him. There were challenges. You have been guiding him into how to go about it. So, what are your views on this project?
My views on this project. Oh.
No, no. We yes, please. We're talking about mom to mama. We're talking to mama now.
All right. Well, thank you for having me, Sonal. It's a pleasure to finally get to talk to you. The peer mediation project has indeed been a surprise even to us. The fact that we've been able to come thus far, it looks like a journey that wouldn't really see the light of day if we were to take into consideration all that it was going to cost, all it was going to entail. It looked like something that was going to be an elephant project. But at a point, we had to sit down, and thanks to my years of consulting for programs like this, I have actually consulted for such non-governmental programs. And at a point, I told Chijioke, say, silly, look, this might look large, but let's go down and get a blueprint. And at that point, I was able to get out a blueprint on how to reduce the project to something that was workable for us. And like he said, we have approval for 1,000 schools, and we decided to just start. And we were able to start, to God be the glory, we were able to touch at least 20 schools in the first instance. So, and one thing I would like to say is that in any project you have to embark on, you have to show sincerity of purpose, because it's more like people are used to projects, people being fooled or people being disappointed along the way. sincerity will go a long way. When people see that you're sincere in what you're doing, they tend to stick around and tend to lend a helping hand. So initially, we didn't get the kind of reception and perhaps excitement we were expected to get. Like we were asking, what was the acceptance? Because not that the coordinators, the teachers didn't like the project, not that they didn't like the idea of teaching peace building or conflict resolution, but they just felt it was one of those projects that was going to come, use it to get international recognition, take pictures and leave. And they, on second hand, you wouldn't really blame those that have come taking pictures and left, because when you're embarking on such a project and there is nobody to aid you, you might just get stuck at the stage to take pictures and leave. So they were not really so excited at the initial point to accept us, but they were willing to go because, like Chijioke said, the government had been kind enough to give an approval. But as we kept going, when they saw our sincerity, our passion, our accountability, telling them this is how it's happening, this is where the funding is coming from, making them understand that most of it was from personal sacrifices. And along as we went on, they started keying in. And when they started keying in, we started seeing them also make sacrifices on their part. There were times we couldn't there were days we couldn't give entertainment the way we normally would have given, and they will bear with us. There were days we couldn't turn up and we'll say, okay, let's reschedule for next week, and they will understand with us. So that sincerity will go a long way. And then the determination to just keep going on, because you'll have setbacks and it might take you to make a lot of sacrifices. It got to a point that here in the house we were joking, say, is it only mediation? Every resource was being channeled towards peer mediation and all that. But we thank God that it has paid off. Seeing those children graduate and all excited was worth it. It was really worth it. So that's basically the journey. If I were to speak to somebody that will want to start that, I will say, okay, in as much as you have the intention, get somebody that is knowledgeable. You might have the knowledge of mediation, but get somebody that will sit down and reduce it to a paperwork, a plan that is possible, feasible, and workable. And that's what the teamwork between Chijioke and I was able to achieve. He had the knowledge of the mediation, and I came in with the experience of planning and executing such projects. And that's what made it work out for us. And most importantly, God on our side, the God factor.
Wonderful, wonderful, ma'am. You actually have summed it all, you know. So I should say the teamwork has really paid off, and not only, it's globally, it's been renowned, it's been recognized, and it's been accepted. This all the struggles that you would have faced have now been recognized. How do you feel? Has it really been? I mean, uh, what are your feelings on it? That now that it's going to be a big thing now.
Well, like I will use my son's words. We are happy that it has come to stay, but at the same time, we are still apprehensive, because when you look at the task before us is huge. We are talking about 1,000 schools and we've done 20, so it's huge. You wonder how you're going to do it, but we are quite optimistic. We are very optimistic. So it's mixed feelings. We are happy, and then somewhere in your heart, in one area, you still have that inner voice asking you, how are you going to move on and achieve and all that? But for us to have even succeeded, crossed the setting up the foundation is usually very difficult. And so one thing we are very grateful for is that we're able to persevere through the setting up of the foundation. And we are optimistic that going forward, it will get easier. We are believing God that we'll have more people aligned with the vision. And for us here in Nigeria particularly is more of contributing our own quota. If you were to know about the current politics and history of Nigeria, you know, we're a nation, pockets of crisis, we have a lot of interreligion, and we fear for what the next generation will be. Our hope would have been that by now we will have a nation that children no more see tribal differences, cultural differences. But to our dismay, we discovered that it's even getting deeper. That you see 5-year-olds still talking about tribal and cultural differences. And you're wondering, how does a 5-year-old know differences in tribe and culture? Which means we are not passing on the right messages to our children. We have not been passing on the right messages that will bring down the walls. Instead, we have been setting up the walls. And that was one of the main things that pushed us to get this program running. It was our own quota to bring down these walls that divide us, these walls that separate us, the walls of conflict.
Yes.
Because if it's just one thing to keep complaining and talking about the insecurity and the crisis and conflicts in Nigeria, but it's one thing to start contributing your own to make it right. So we feel if there's a generational change in the next 10 years, we'll be seeing the fruit. In the next 20 years, when children that have been skilled in the act of mediation are in power, it will really have a different outcome. It will. And we've really succeeded, because when we go to the schools and we see the children having a different mindset that conflicts need not be pursued, but rather resolved amicably, then we know we're in the right direction.
Definitely. Definitely.
So that's it.
Definitely. And that is the difference, because the world over, people can complain, but nobody actually takes that next step to move towards that direction. And
Yes.
And this is why has made us a difference. You have taken an initiation, you have taken the initiative, you have walked the walk, and that has really made a lot of difference. And you can see in your vision also, and you are seeing in whatever is happening, and people have, according to your words also, that people, that small children have understood. And that's a big achievement actually, because on ground it's been achieved. At least the vision has started to bear fruits, and that is really wonderful. Do I? Yes, Chijioke, anything that you wanted to say?
Of course, I like to thank everybody. It's not only about the family. Yes, the family is a pivotal area, but to you, my team members, particularly Patrick.
Yes.
Patrick, he's been very instrumental. You can imagine a man coming out of America when there was a security report that blew my mind away. When despite the security report, he toured all the way from America to Nigeria to witness firsthand what we are doing. All expenses paid by him. I didn't give a dime for that visit. So what more can I say but to be most grateful for that show of love, commitment, and passion, for coming all the way from America at his own expense to come to Nigeria. That's been wonderful. So I'm very particularly grateful to him that the program is still thriving. For you, Sonal, you're always available, even when we could stay about 4 hours. For intern that sets up the links. If you tell me to set up a Zoom link now, I'll be stranded. Intern sets up the links from all the way from Malaysia. I don't know how she does it. In the next how many minutes, she's going to churn out about how many millions of links for our program from now to the end of the year. To Natalia, who has just moved from Brazil to Chile. She's yet to adapt to the new environment she's in, but she still makes out time to be around when the Institute holds a program, when the peer mediation program is on. What show of love what more can you ask of from people you've never met before, but they've shown you so much love? Or is it to Lisa? Lisa is not a young woman. At her age, she makes the commitment to be there. The last session we had, you had her say she wanted to, the book she's writing, she's going to channel it for at the program. at no cost. So what more can I ask of? Why won't I be most grateful to God that yes, despite my family who know me very well and who are supportive of what I'm doing, I have colleagues across the borders of all the world who I've never met, only through the media, but they've shown so much love, taking me as part of their family, taking the vision as theirs, all for us to make sure that this practice is indeed worthwhile and fully entrenched. And like I tell people, we are building a legacy.
Yes.
This is a legacy that is going to be purely indelible.
Yes.
It's going to be indelible, it's going to be worthwhile. Our names will speak many, many years to come. It will be deeply entrenched in the sands of time. Because what we've done, if you've done something for children who are just 5 years and God gives them life for the next how many years, it means that program speaks for those number of years those children are alive. So we've done something that looked like a near impossibility. But along the line, God turned it around through human vessels like you, my family, to make sure that this program is fully entrenched and being imbibed. You needed to see the excitement when we had these children graduate in December. I have the videos. When I just want to laugh a bit, I look at it. There was a particular one, Patrick was my wife's idea, let the children dance. Patrick was so enthusiastic. He was so blown away by that dance. When I want to have a bit of laugh in the midst of all this tension, I just put it on and look. I look at. So you see, basically, we're on the right path.
Yes.
It's not been easy, but we're on the right path. Thank you very much.
Most definitely. And in fact, I should mention here, this is the first of its kind that, people, Ethan is from Malaysia, Natalia is from Brazil and now Chile, and Lisa is from US, you are from Africa. So we all have got together for realizing this mission of yours, and it is instrumental. You are the one who has bound us together. You made a team, and you made sure that you're the motivating factor. So I can see that that you have actually bound us together, made us into a team, coordinated everything. And now I can actually, when I've talked, then I can see that Mrs. Margaret Ibuku has been, the mind behind it. So we all must thank her actually, because the blueprint, as she was saying, how to go about it, and you are the one who has bound us. So it's a consolidated effort of you both as a team, and we, whatever we could do, it's just little bit whatever we could do, because that's what we can do sitting here. So that's a wonderful thing to have happened. And this is one of its kind in, I think, globally, nobody has coordinated this thing. So that makes it more special. That's what I feel. So I see your middle child is also there. Will he say hello? Put the camera. Yeah. Will he say hello?
Hello. And that's my boy that is autistic, but he will say hello.
Yes, that's really.
He will say hello. Say hello.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Wonderful. Can you put the camera to him?
Yes.
Okay, put the camera to him.
Yeah, so the world can see him. Yes.
Show him. Let the camera show him.
Hi.
Hello.
That's
Hello.
really good. Hi.
Hi.
That's really nice. Nice. Very nice.
How are you?
Good. So lovely. Lovely.
Pleasure meeting. Pleasure meeting.
Good. That's really good.
Meeting.
That's really wonderful. You have lovely bunch of.
Okay. Yeah. The other boys, I think one of them joined. He joined in school. I don't know. He said he was going to make it. They had a program in school, but he was here. That's the guy, the boy that's in law. He was here. a few minutes ago, but I told you he's far away in Enugu. He's in
Yes.
the southeast where he's up there for his studies.
I think
But he told me that they had a program in school.
Chijioke, your voice is cracking. I think yeah.
My first boy, who is in school,
Okay.
final year geology student. I sent him the link. I don't know what for whatever reason why maybe the network is very challenging there. But at this point, I really say thank you so much, Sonal. Yes, and like you saw my post, I said it was the icing on the cake because I thought it was only going to be about me. But when you mentioned the family, I said, wow, I think that's where you took it. You took it a step higher. You know, you raised the bar, and actually having these children and my wife talk about it shows you the comprehensive nature of the program. I wish the other boys who are older were around because the two of them also make out time in their holidays. They act more like the video men, they act like the cameramen, and they see what we do. The two boys, most of our posters, most of our flyers is done by the boy who is studying law. That's my third son. The eldest, he's the one that he's the one that follows most of the time to the project. He assists in making sure that the children get the gifts. He takes the pictures. So they know about it. They know the nitty-gritties of that program. They know everything about what is going on as regards that program. So to that extent, I'm grateful to the children. I'm grateful to their mom, my wife, for the support. And of course, particularly grateful, just as I've mentioned, Sonal that sets the link. You're already there. Intern that sets the link. Lisa makes her time available. That's why I schedule. Patrick, finances and time. So, the program, why won't I succeed? Yes. No matter the obstacles that are on ground, when you have deep support from people who you work with, who are part of you, then the challenges will become, even if they are there, it looks like something you can surmount. They're surmountable. So I think God has, for me, for this program particularly, like people that care to listen, I tell them this program is just divinely guided. It's all about God that has gotten the people he knows that will help me in making this dream come to pass and make sure that this dream is fully entrenched. It is indelible. It's a long-term one. And to that, I'm indeed very grateful to God, to my family, and to you, my colleagues, my friends. Thank you very much.
It has the blessings of so many people now.
It does really. Just because of the God factor, it does. And like yesterday, we had on our sets Douglas Ford. That's an established, renowned mediator. He's a member of Mediation Beyond Bounds, Beyond Borders.
Yes.
Wanting to us, what did he say? He just said, I like the good-spirited people around you. I like your team. Can I be part of the team? And I said, why not? So you see, if he had come on the platform and he did not connect, there'll be no relationship there from. So what we've done now, so it's not only me he has connected to, yes, he has connected to Tree, but he has connected to you, he has connected to Lisa, he knows Lisa, I've mentioned him to Patrick. So, the relationship is further expanded. So that is what Tree Seeds has done, brought us all together, broadening our network in terms of our practice individually and collectively. So to that, I'm very grateful to everybody and above all to God.
That's really good. So in gratitude, lies the greatest success. That's really good. So any closing comments by you or ma'am? I think you've already you've given.
I think maybe they should maybe my wife and children and boy should add their own remark. I think I've done enough to say thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Nice meeting you, Mrs. Sonia.
Pleasures are mine. Pleasure's mine. And it was really lovely meeting you. And I'm glad that you could take your time. And ma'am, it was a lovely perspective that you have spoken, because this needs to go out to the world, that you are also a major force in, organizing everything. And it's a team effort of everybody out there. So thank you so much for coming and speaking to us. and making this a big success.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure speaking with you too, and thank you to all the team members. I just don't know how you people do it every Saturday, every other day, Saturday, Friday, during the week. You people are awesome. I wouldn't be able to keep up with you people's pace, but somehow you people are able to do it. Thank you so much. God bless you. And thank you for being a community for this project. God bless you so much.
God bless us all and God bless you all because you are doing a very good service to humanity. That's really bye bye again. We'll stop the recording now. That was really a
Bye-bye.
bye.
Have a great week.
Have a blessed week ahead, Sonal. Thank you very much for this great opportunity.
Pleasure's all mine, as I always say.